introduce this gentleman who's helping us open our eyes to what's going on in our in the world and in the South Coast Ocean. So, Bernie, take it away.
Hi, everybody. All right, we're going to talk about the administrative state because that's how you get the wind farms. I got interested in this because somebody came to me and said, go down to the corner of East Beach Road and Horseneck Road in Dartmouth and look to the left of Gooseberry Neck, and you will see windmills turning on the horizon. I said, you're kidding. And I did. You can count 13 windmills from a Rhode Island side going to the left that are out there. How did they get there? Did any of you in 2015 or 2010 ever hear of anything going on offshore about windmill farms? Did you ever vote on anything regarding windmill farms? Was there anything in any books that you looked at or any newspaper articles talking about wind farms? All right. So right now, as we sit here, 1.2 million acres of land is under lease to companies that are mostly from Norway. There's only 2 American companies who are wind farm companies, only 2. The rest of them are all Norwegian. The windmill itself, when you're looking out here and you're looking at the monopile sticking up in the air, the windmill from the base of the monopile to the top of the blade, when the blade is at the top of the curve, is 800 feet. When you look at windmills that are on land, the maximum height you're going to see in any one of those is 210 feet. The power generated by one of these wind farm windmills is about 3 megawatts, which is not a lot of power, okay? And the sad thing about all this, 1.2 million acres, and by the way, 3 weeks ago, our governor signed another contract, and there's another 800,000 acres going under lease, so now we're going to have 2 million acres under lease. The sad part about it is, I worked for 5 years with Brayton Point between 2018 and 2023. They produced 1,563 megawatts out of Brayton Point from 1958 until they shut it down, all right? To replace 1,563 megawatts, you have to clear 7,851 acres of land to replace it with either windmills or solar. So I found out when I was at Brayton Point that Quebec Hydro offered the New England states 30 years ago to sell power to the New England states at 10.5 cents a kilowatt. What does that mean? What it means is that in Montreal, Canada today, they're paying 578% less for their electricity than you do in the Boston area. That's what it means. And there's 3.3 million people in the Montreal metro area. So the next question is, why did I get involved? I got involved because I heard Robert Rand's acoustic recordings of the pile driving going on outside Martha's Vineyard in Nantucket. When a Navy diver goes in the water and the sound levels are at 145 decibels, they will not let him go beyond 145 decibels underwater. The pile drivers out there that they're using, the average strike is 180 to 185 decibels. If you heard that in this microphone, it would hurt your ears. So what's going on is, I got in touch with Robert Rand and we started a conversation between the two of us on what's happening out here. I wrote to Vineyard Wind. I had a letter that came from the Wampanoag people from Gay Head. Everybody has been concerned about this, but we're too late. Follow the money. So the other problem is you wonder about the whales and stuff. There are some pictures over here that I have. When a mammal is underwater, it's essentially translucent. So when it gets in a sound wave that's 180 decibels high, that sound wave goes right through his body, or her body. Whether it's a whale or a porpoise, they call them pinnipeds. Porpoises and dolphins are pinnipeds. The sound waves go through them, screw up their hearing, screw up their sonar, they can't do anything right, and that's why you see them dying. It's not because they have strikes that are propeller strikes. It's not because they have entanglements. It's because of the pile driving. It's creating havoc in their bodies. So, now, this isn't going to stop. Quebec Hydro has dams which would produce 33,000 megawatts of power. For you to replace that power and put it out here in windmills, you're going to need 10,000 windmills to replace that power. Where are you going to put them? The other thing most people don't know is the shelf life of a wind turbine is about 5 years. So what happens after 5 years? The original investors are gone. Who's going to go repair them? Who's going to go replace them? And the other question that has been asked that no one has an answer to, what is the final cost to you, the consumer, of the power coming off the wind farms? No one knows. I would say about $2 a kilowatt. 25 years ago, the London School of Economics wrote a paper about wind farms. They concluded 25 years ago that wind farming is the most expensive method of creating electricity in the world. It's also not sustainable because it's erratic. Same thing with solar. Each area of the country in the United States of America is divided into what's called an iOS region. We're in iOS NE, which is iOS New England. They manage all the power. Gas, electric, nuclear, coal, however it gets here, hydro. They manage it all. When I was at Brayton Point, I read 5 of their studies. Each study says the same thing. Wind and solar will not replace the grid. So we are going to be on the receiving end of a massive administrative boondoggle, which is being created right out there. You can see it out the passageway right here. And I urge you to talk to your congressman about this stuff. You really need to do that. And when Donald Trump is elected on November 5th, this will change.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Curry, for inviting me. I hope you all learned something. Good night.
Thank you very much. Excellent, excellent. Very, very informative, earth-shattering. And you know what? The message that we got today was this current administration, we are not the priority. I hate to say it, but they are appeasing us. They want to make you feel like they care. And I'm not gonna go on. I just want to say a few things. I listen to talk radio every day. If I can't listen, I listen to podcasts. I feel fortunate that we have people who have the power of radio, the power to inform us. We need to start paying attention. Every day I learn something, and I'm blessed to be able to do that. I've been doing that for 10 years or more. It started with my mom listening to WBSM. I guess it just, it's contagious. But I listen to some of our politicians. There's a saying, pee on your back, but call it rain. There are politicians that are in power or that have control or have the ability to make change. They want to make you believe or think that everything's okay. And it's got to stop. They want to make you think that illegal immigrants who are figured out a way to circumvent our immigration system, They want to make you think that employers need them because the unemployment rate is so low. They want you to not look at the crime rate. They don't want you to look at how much money we're spending, the $2 billion surplus that's just gone. And we have state reps right in our area that are looking for ways of how they're going to extract more money from the taxpayer to be able to support people who don't belong here. It has to stop. It has to stop. And God willing, if I'm given this opportunity, I want to align myself with other state reps. Jesse, where is he? He just walked in. He's a great guy. I've had conversations with him. Sean Oliver, thank you, city councilor. And I know they're very busy. They had other events to attend, and I feel very appreciative that you were able to be here. But when I talk to Jesse, we're like-minded. Imagine 2, 3, 4, 5 city officials, and you know, Sean Oliver, I listened to this gentleman talk. What I love about Sean, he's a voice of reason. He'll sit down and have a conversation, exchange, just to come up with the best decision. And he may not be a Republican, but that doesn't matter. When you put issues first, when you put real problems first, and your goal is to say, I'm going to solve that problem, and I'm going to put people first, put people's needs first, it all comes together. It's like running a business. So with Jesse, like-minded, once we get together, and I said it earlier when I started talking, you begin to affect change by education, by awareness. You can't ignore what this gentleman just said. You cannot ignore it. You won't forget it. You have more information today than you did yesterday or a few minutes ago. And for me, what moved me was you have our sea life that is being decimated. And out of greed, out of money, out of not willing to accept or admit that you made a mistake, there are people that will continue making mistakes because they don't want to be acknowledged as you failed. That's not going to happen anymore. And that's why we're here. We're here to bridge, get stronger together. And so I want to thank Jesse for coming in, supporting me as I did for his fundraiser. And again, I want to thank each one of you for being here today. And I want you to enjoy Mark, and he's ready to play. And there's more food. And again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And this isn't over. We got a lot of work to do. A lot of work. Alan? Yep. What's up? Joe Lopes, yeah, he was here. I don't know if he came back, but I mentioned him earlier, so I want to thank him, even though he's not here. But these are the folks that I can text them, I can call them, and that's what I hope to do, God willing. Build relationships so we can work together, bounce things off each other, and that's what it is. It's a team effort. So thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.